is Movie Dragon 009 back again with another movie review. First of all, I know I promised you guys a new format series for my future reviews, and I'm still working on getting that together, but I'm keeping my one promise, and that is to only review animated features, and so, yeah. I just barely saw our latest animated feature to come out, the Lego Movie. Let's talk about that. First off, to clear the air, yeah, I got into Legos like everyone else. Maybe it was kind of late. I don't know. It's kind of like early teens. Me, personally, it was like more the... I really got interested in the Bionicle line, but still. I mean, I don't know anyone who hasn't been involved with Legos at some point in their childhood, or even their adulthood. And that's got to be something up. Well, that's got to be something. And we've all seen, like the movies that the Lego company usually puts out, those little CGI direct-to-video stuff, where, like, the figures are just way too flexible to be made of plastic. So you can imagine how excited I was to be able to see the trailers for the Lego Movie coming out, back early on in the day. And I gotta say, after seeing this, I am not disappointed at all. So, to start off this review, let's talk about the plot. So the plot of the Lego Movie starts out with this little minifigure called Emmett, and he lives in a world entirely made up of Legos. And I am not kidding, everything is made of Legos. It is freaking amazing. Water is made of Lego bricks, the clouds are made of Lego bricks, the explosions in this movie are made of Lego bricks. It's just amazing. See, the thing is, the Lego figures in this world, they're all alive, and they all walk around doing their Lego thing. But the thing is, they all live their lives according to a very precise set of instructions telling them exactly what to do, as handed out by President Business, played by Will Ferrell. Which, now that I think about it, is kind of a nice hark back to Megan line. Did he realize that? I'm sure he realized that. Anyway, Emmett himself, by the way, he's voiced by Chris Pratt, he is in no way, like, particularly unique. I mean, and that's saying something for a little Lego figure. And, like, he later sees videos of friends, and nobody can find anything special about him. He's just this average guy who likes to do everything according to the book. But then, when he runs into this female Lego figure called Wildstyle, played by Elizabeth Banks, he discovers this piece called the Piece of Resistance. And suddenly he is mistaken for the Special, the one person who will put an end to President's Business' evil plan of gluing the world all together and putting it in, freezing it in place. Yeah, but as it turns out, yeah, he's not really the Special, but then he gets swept up in this huge whirlwind adventure. Yeah, believe it or not, it seems like going in there, it sounds like another Chosen One story, and then it seems to delve into a Liar Revealed story, which I am very aware of some people absolutely despise happening in movies. DreamWorks does have a nasty habit of dipping into that, especially their earlier movies. Anyway, the plot actually takes us on quite a few trips. At the end of the movie, it's really something bigger than either of them can imagine. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys who haven't seen the movie since it's still pretty fresh. It really puts into perspective, like, everything that Lego stands for. Just like the final act of this movie. And it's actually really quite touching. You really gotta see it to believe it. I just think this plot is amazingly well written. As I understand, the directors of this film also worked on Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, which personally I'm not like the world's biggest fan of for my own reasons. But here, I really think they did a really great job in just setting up this world and just setting up this story to pull it out in a way that really anyone going in with this movie really wouldn't expect. But again, I'll leave that up to you guys. And now we have to talk about the characters. I think starting off with Emmett, he's really this kind of a blank slate, really. I mean, he's one in a million. Is really nothing special. And I think the conflict he goes through is actually really, well, for lack of a better word, special. At first, he's fine to go along with the crowd, and that suits him well, but when he realizes, when it's made clear to him that it seems that he's nothing really special, it really puts him into this conflict of a lack of self-esteem, which I think just in this day and age alone, a lot of people, especially kids, will relate to. The world may see him as another face in the crown, and that's actually a very good conflict. And the rest of the other characters are actually really fun to watch. There's also the character of Wild Style, and she goes through her own emotions. I think, well, as far as like the whole special thing is concerned, like, you know, her emotions are actually pretty cliched, and just sort of learning to accept the one as the one, more or less, even though it doesn't really turn out to be that. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything about the end. No, sir. Not doing that for you people. Yeah, but other than that, she's a really die-hard character. It's really fun to watch her like fly around and punch little Lego figures into little tiny bricks. It's really quite hilarious. And then we also got the wizard called Vitruvius, played by Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman, the voice of God! It's pretty off as rocker. It kind of strikes me as being, because like, I definitely see elements of like a hippie wizard in there. Like a little hippie wizard, lives in a shoe. And then you've also got Lord / President Business, played by Will Ferrell. Obviously, like we've already discussed him, so I'll just move on. And then we've also got like Batman, played by Will Arnett. And I gotta say, just for the record, I mean, they're not trying to do a serious portrayal of Batman, because like, for the record, he comes off as kind of a jerk, but we gotta remember, like, a lot of the celebrity cameos in this movie they're really just parody, so I wouldn't take him too seriously if I were you. And then there's also a bunch of minor characters, like, I think a couple of my favorites are like Ben the Spaceman, more specifically, Ben the 1980-something space guy. And this guy's just hilarious. He's all obsessed about making, like, spaceships. And then you've also got this Princess Unikitty, played by Alison Brie. A combination of a cat and a unicorn. What would that look like in real life? I should draw that. People on DeviantArt, draw that. Draw a real-life Unikitty. I really want to see what that looks like. And unfortunately, the character gets a lot less screen time than it should, is Captain Metalbeard or something. This kind of cyborg pirate that goes on. That's not to say he's funny. He gets a few good ones in there, too. And now we should talk about the animation. As I've stated before, the Lego Movie is made up of a world of Legos and nothing but Legos. Like, everything from the water coming out of the shower is like little Lego coin one pieces, I don't want to call them. And I gotta say, when I first saw the trailers for this movie, I was like so convinced that this was a stop-motion movie. Just how realistic it looks. Everything seriously looks like a little Lego piece. Like, they seriously took the time to put together all these Lego pieces into this huge, enormous set. I would have believed that if they had some green screen, but seriously, it looks like Lego pieces, but it's all CGI, and it's kind of disappointing, because I was really kind of hoping this would be like the big step for stop motion. It would be one epic brick film, let me tell you. But I gotta say, for them to be able to pull that off, to make everything look like an actual Lego, congrats to you, Animation Studio. I think it was Animalogic. Congrats to you, Animalogic. That's impressive. You had me fooled. Yeah, of course, there are obviously some bits where, yeah, there is CGI evident now that I've seen the movie, but still, I just think it's beautiful. I mean, the way they're able to really suck you into these worlds, so to speak, really fascinating. They deserve a moment of recognition somewhere down the line. Other than that, it looks like a really well done brick film. Man, I wish there was a major stop-motion brick film. That would be awesome. And speaking of awesome, let's also talk about the music. The music, it kind of gets a lot. You kind of lose track of it at some points, but if you look on iTunes, it sounds a lot like something that would come off like a Nintendo NES system, which I think works out really well, considering how, you know, like, toy-centered this is. And oh my gosh, like, the theme song, I want to call it, it's got to be the theme song. Everything is awesome. I saw this with my family, and after this movie was over, we were going in the car, and, like, my mom was even singing along to this. Everything is awesome! And to think, early on, that was, like, the anthem of conformity at the beginning of the movie. It's really surprising how they managed to make a complete turnaround. And now I think I need to give the final verdict. Now, I'm not going to say this movie is like completely perfect, but it's pretty darn close to being perfect. I'll admit that early on there seemed to be a couple of issues with pacing, like some of the scenes like rushed by really fast. It was kind of hard to keep track of what was going on, but you kind of get used to it. You kind of settle into it pretty well. Oh my gosh. I totally forgot one of the characters. I am so sorry. Liam Neeson is bad cop slash good cop in this movie. I should have mentioned that earlier. I'm so sorry. This is what happens when your vids are all unscripted. So really quick, Liam Neeson is this police officer that's like two-faced. Isn't it funny? Does it strike anyone else as weird that like Liam Neeson and Morgan Freeman are voicing characters in a movie with Batman, and one of them is Two-Face? You seen any connections here? Anyway, back to the verdict. I really feel that I should have seen this movie in 3D, but that wasn't entirely in my control, more or less. I mean, if you were to... I really hope I get to see this movie again in high def, because you look at this picture and there is just so much going on. I just want to hit the pause button to check out every tiny little detail. As you can probably tell, I'm a nut for detail. People who follow my blog will know that. And overall, I think the characters were great. I think, and especially the moral of the movie at the end. I guess if I were to sum up the moral of this movie, it would be that everyone's special in their own way. And we all have something unique to contribute to the world. So, with that in mind, I have to give this movie, according to my new rating system, which I will be revealing soon, a rating of a masterpiece. Putting it out there. So, if you bothered to watch this review, thank you so much for reviewing. Please like this video and comment in the sections below. And also I want to give a shout out to the folks down at Fanfiction. Yes, I admit I'm writing fanfiction. And to those of you who have read the fanfiction, thank you so much. Continue to like and review what I put online. And with that said, this is Movie Dragon 009, signing out.